Hey everyone, I hope you're having an excellent day. I'm back today with another video, and it's been starting to get colder. I'm here in a field that's actually now starting to get sunny, but most of the days here in Bratislava are fairly gloomy and very overcast and very crisp, chilly, and cold. And I do like it. It is comforting. But today we're going to talk about the 5 things that I find difficult about living in Slovakia as a foreigner. The first thing that I find difficult, and I think anyone is going to say this, is the language barrier. So not being able to speak Slovak fluently and having trouble communicating with people in everyday life. So this goes for, if you're trying to do something simple like go to the store, or if you're needing to go take care of some paperwork at like maybe a government office or something. So if you can't speak the language, obviously you're going to have a lot of trouble because I've noticed that in stores and in like kind of government offices, government buildings, people older, like I've mentioned this in previous videos, but people older a certain age, it's less and less likely that they're going to be able to speak English well or at all. So definitely the language barrier is a real thing. It would really help you if you have a friend or a family member or someone who can speak Slovak to come here, or even if you just want to hire a translator, if you can afford that. But the language barrier is very real. I've gotten a lot better at being able to communicate on a very basic level with people here. Like I'm able to go to the store and, I've said before, like I can be polite and kind of say the basic things, but as soon as someone asks me a question, then I feel like I'm, not in trouble, but I just don't know how to respond. So I feel a little awkward, and then I start speaking English because that's what I know how to do. So definitely the language barrier is very real. So this goes for, if you come to Slovakia or any other country, it's going to be very important to learn the local language. Now, the second thing that I have to mention that can be difficult about living in Slovakia has to do with the weather, but more specifically winter. Now, if you know me, you know that I am from, sunny California in the United States, and moving over here to Slovakia, obviously it was my choice. I wanted to do it, but getting used to the weather, and specifically the winters, is definitely something that I have to get used to, or anyone else who's from a warmer climate country. Now, right now it is November. I think it's November 8th, and so winter is coming. So I really need to be prepared. I'm already dressed warm right now, but it'll definitely be snowing. You need to wear gloves, maybe wear 2 pairs of socks, long johns, and anything else that can keep you warm. And even there are, some people who live here who, if they have the luck of living in a house, they might have a fireplace. So that's great for the people that live here that have fireplaces. But for most other people, you're likely going to have a heater, either if it heats the whole house or apartment, or just like one of those small heaters that you plug into the wall to heat up your room. So that's definitely something to be aware of, is that there are cold winters here, and you definitely want to drink, hot tea, maybe hot coffee, or definitely, if you're here, vodne vino, because vodne vino in the wintertime and around Christmas time is just perfect. Now, as for the third thing on my list that is difficult about living in Slovakia as a foreigner, would just have to be the economy here and the wages compared to the economy. Now, earlier today, I looked up what is the minimum wage for a basic entry-level job here in Slovakia, and online it said that it was €3.71. Now, any Slovaks that are watching this, please let me know if that's accurate, because I don't have a minimum wage job here. I had a job here, but I have moved to online work, so I'm still spending my money here, obviously, but I found that it was a little difficult to make a decent amount of money you know, this is kind of going for someone if you don't have like experience or something like that in a certain field, or if you're just wanting to do something that you're already comfortable with, like from the States or whatever country you're coming from. You can continue doing that, but in an online fashion, which is really nice and helpful. But again, back to the wages thing. I know a few Slovaks that live here, and they work, if not full-time, just about full-time. Like, they work very long hours and for very low pay, and I feel bad for them, because they're putting, you know, taking a lot of time out of their day and putting a lot of effort into work. And you know, if you're getting paid like $3.71 or like €4 an hour or like $4.50 an hour, you know, it's good to have an income. But you know, I have to point out that I do come from California, and while I think the minimum wage there is much too high, still, like, going from like about like $15 an hour then to here, which is, let's say it's like €4 an hour, that's a pretty big that's a big difference. That's a little more than 3 times of a difference. So definitely be aware of that if you're coming here for work or anything. It's gonna really help if you have some kind of like certifications, qualifications, experience, something like that. But I will say that if you can speak English, and especially if you're a native English speaker, you'll have a much easier time in certain fields. Not all, and probably not most fields here, but there are certain positions where they're looking for someone who speaks English. So that's just something to be aware about, is the wages compared to the economy. Things can be expensive, like just anything that you buy at the store, like whether it's like groceries or especially electronics, are quite expensive here. So make sure that you have some kind of a good job planned out, or that you are working for yourself or something. But yeah, just the wages, in my opinion, don't compare to the economy here. So, all right, so the fourth thing that I find difficult about living here in Slovakia, maybe this doesn't go for the entirety of the country, but wherever you might live, like if you live in a city, like I live in Bratislava, there's many apartment buildings. Now, the apartment buildings, they can be fine, they can be comfy to a degree, but at the same time, the type of apartment building which I live in is called a Paneláky, or Paneláky, I think, for plural. And these are apartment buildings that were built during like the Soviet era, like they are communist style buildings. And I will do another video getting more into the specifics of them and their background and history, but they are called Paneláky or Paneláky because they are built in panels, and they are supposed to be cheap to build and quick to build as well. So it was something that made sense for communist governments in a now bygone era. But the kind of not so great thing, or the difficulty about living in one of them, is the walls can be very thin. So maybe you might hear neighbors talking if they talk loud, but that's kind of also means like at night you have to, you know, try to be like really quiet. You can't really have music too loud at certain parts of the day. And also, God forbid, if you have a neighbor who is remodeling their kitchen throughout the summer almost every day, because that was the case for me. Our next door neighbor, they were remodeling their kitchen and like installing things and using power drills during the day, throughout the day, up until like even 7 p.m., 8 p.m. sometimes. And it was pretty irritating because a lot of the times I was having video calls with people. I was maybe tutoring someone with English, or just, you know, having a chat with someone back home, or some kind of like business call or something, and I hear like drilling and loudness from a next door neighbor. And what didn't help that is the walls being so thin. So yeah, living in the Paneláky can not always be the greatest, and those are some difficulties of Paneláky. But Paneláky, I definitely want to do a separate video on, dedicated to Paneláky, because while they can be difficult to live in, I still find them interesting. So, and the fifth thing, the final thing that is difficult about living in Slovakia would have to be when you're having to get any kind of paperwork completed or filled out or stamped by someone because, I guess because of multiple reasons. The first reason is because it seems like half the time when you go into say if you have to go into like an office, like a government office, and speak to someone, or if you have to even just go to like a print shop or something, there's always, it seems like to me, there's usually is a long wait time. I don't know if it's because like they're understaffed in these places, or if the people, they're just like kind of in a sour mood a lot of the time that work in these kind of places. But it can take a long time to get service from someone, to get them to help you out with completing paperwork or like documents, like getting documents filled out or like completed in some way. Now, especially like when you're having to get like some kind of like official like government documents, like if you're wanting to move here yourself and if you have to go to the foreigners police, if you go to the Bratislava foreigners police, good luck, because they are gonna likely give you a tough time if you don't speak Slovak. So it's gonna help to have like a friend or family member, like I said earlier, or a translator in that situation. They can be rude. Not all of them are rude. Like some can be helpful, but a lot of the times they can be rude, or if not rude, they can just be short. Because I mean, I can understand they have a lot of people that they need to help and process throughout their day, but it just, in my opinion, makes it more difficult and unpleasant for everyone when they're just kind of like wanting to get you out of there as quick as possible without like actually listening or like helping you. So getting official documents or like taking care of business, so to speak, can be a challenge here. So be prepared for that. Have patience though, because you will get things sorted out, whether you're coming here and filling out some kind of like residence documents or even business documents or like school documents or like anything like that. I would say don't worry, because in the end you will get it sorted out, but just know that it's going to be a process. Sometimes things will take time. Also, people, they might not help you if it's around, if it's between like 11:30 a.m. to like 1 p.m. because that's like lunchtime, and it seems like everyone goes out for lunch at the same time, and then no one is there to help you. So that can be troublesome at times, but I'm sure that's not the case for every place. But just in my experience, I've gone to a place and it's like, it's lunchtime, so we are not available. So anyways, those are my 5 things that I find difficult about living in Slovakia as a foreigner. If you want to support this channel, the best thing that you can do is please subscribe and comment down below. Give the video a like. I'm really trying to get this channel to 100 subscribers because, I just have some video ideas that are, I've got some ideas in my mind that I want to wait until I get to 100 subscribers, but I'm still going to be putting out videos until then, obviously. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.